Hi, welcome to the introduction video about Object Manager Advanced 16. I'm going to show you a few cool features that are included in this release, the last major release of idyn. But first I want to, for those of you who are unfamiliar with the tool, tell you something about OMA itself. It has been the lead development tool for more than a decade. It is used on a daily basis by thousands of customers and partners. It includes famous features like where used, guideline checks, code refactoring, automatic update change monitoring, and project-driven change management. But as I said, this topic is about the last major release, and I'm going to tell you a little bit about the features that are included in this product. The first topic we are going to discuss is enhancement of the changes to where used functionality on field options. And I'll give you an example of that. In this version of OMA, if we go to the where used and select, for example, the customer table, and we drill down to an option field, like the blocked field here, then obviously the usage of the field itself is accessible through this drill down here. But in the end here you have the various options, and when selecting the assist edit, it brings you to a new feature that gives you the opportunity not only to see where the field itself is used, but also the various different options, narrowing down the information that you are about to look for. So for example, a code snippet here brings you to specific options and not only the field itself. Very, very cool information. Next topic. Again, an enhancement on the where used information. It's called Cascaded. It's some kind of cascaded view on information that you are looking for. It's an improved way of viewing using a tree view principle. So, for an example, we select payment terms as a table, and there we look into the global function part of the table. It's called get description in current language. If we drill down to the usage, you can now see a screen where the function is being used all over the application. Of course, we have the normal code buttons that you are already used to for many years, but now the function gives you the opportunity to expand the view of the users, where you can see that the function that is being used in this get payment info is actually called. It's some kind of a cascaded call stack that you're currently looking at. So get payment info is used by the load record function, which is on that moment used by the on page. So you can actually see a kind of cascaded tree view that opens up even more information than just the code snippet on the function that you are looking for. So again, very, very cool feature enhancement to where used information. Right. The third topic is about extra functionality in the project and transport mechanisms. As you may know, if you have some experience with OMA, projects and transports are used to group the object changes that you make and transport them from one database to the next, or even from your dev system to your test system, or from your dev system to a customer installation. Everything is handled through projects and transports. Now, as you may know, in NAV and BC development, data changes or changes that have a relationship with data, like increased field length or even shortened field lengths, or change of the structure of option fields, those kind of things are always quite tricky because they can lead to unpleasant failures if you make a mistake in that area. So what we did in OMA is that we have data-related view on changes when it comes to tables being part of the projects. For example, I've prepared a project here. It includes just a simple set of changes to, this is a sandbox database, so I'm just preparing some simple examples to show you additional features that we have added to the product. If we drill down here in, of course, not the project, but the transport. And we click the button Show Changed Fields. The next topic I would like to discuss has to do with the project and transport functionality inside Object Manager. As you know, or may know, project and transports are the way of monitoring object changes and shipping them from one database to another using Object Manager. And when it comes to object changes that are related to data modeling, it's always a bit tricky to get a grip on that. So therefore, we've added something to the transport functionality which focuses on field-related changes. So the length of a field, the option string structure, that kind of things, you can now visit from within OMA. The next topic I would like to show has to do with project and transport functionality with regards to the changes that you may have made to your data model. In fact, it makes it possible to easily see what object changes have something to do with increased or decreased field lengths, structure of option strings, things like that. So in my example that I prepared, I have a transport called data model, and if we edit that, we can see that there's a project involved that contains one object, which is the payment terms table here. And to that table, I made 3 changes. I added some fields and I made a change to the option structure of a field inside that table. And to make that visible, you can easily go to Actions and to Show Changed Fields, which brings up the old and the new structure of the table. In this case, I've added an option, which is some kind of funny color, with 4 values, and I've added the pink value at the end, and then I've created 2 additional fields. Now, the reason for having this functionality is purely that you, when you work with projects and transports, that you are aware of the fact that something has been changed to your data model, and not just a change to some page, some code unit, or some report. This is purely focusing on the data model itself, and it triggers you to double check on which changes are about to be made when you export this transport to another environment. Next topic is also about projects and transports, and it is the ability to include license changes if they affect your piece of development. So, for example, you've added new objects that require a license refresh for either your own systems or the customer installation. It is now possible to add an FLF file to your transport, so it will be automatically, even if you choose to do so, automatically imported on the receiving side. We can there go into this sample transport. I've added a project called License Included, and what it means is that in the documents that are included in this case in the project, I can maybe step to the project first. Within the project, I've added a file called whatever, funnynumber.flf. I've chosen to include it in the physical transport file. You can also ship it separately from the FIP, but in this case I've included it in the FIP file, which is an acronym for the transport, and I've chosen what to do whenever this transport is being imported in some installation. So I could simply upload it or upload it and restart the server, in which case the installation will be handled automatically to the full. So what brings us that if we have that transport and we press the transport button? Already done that, of course, but I'll redo it for now. It's now creating the transport output. And if we take a look at the files created, and then it creates the FIP file. And if we open that up, it shows the license file as part of the FIP file, which will then be imported automatically at the customer installation. The next topic I would like to discuss is the ability inside this new OMA to not only ship documents as part of projects in transport, but specific documents like a new license file, for example. In this version of OMA, and we will just navigate to a sample project, I've called it License Included. It contains an external document being a license file. Now, it has always been possible to add whatever documents to projects, and you could then ship them to other installations using the transport mechanisms, but this specific functionality focuses on the FLF. And of course, you can, when you choose to add a FLF file, you can ship it as a file or being part of the transport, which is called a FIP in Object Manager. Whenever you import the transport, you can choose to either upload it without restarting the server or even restart the server using OMA. So then the installation is more or less fully automatic. Very cool, and it prevents you from having to do the license stuff manually at the customer site yourself, or have the customer refresh its own license. You don't want to have that kind of bother to your customer, obviously. So now OMA can do it for you automatically. Well, as a wrap-up of this short introductory video, I can refer to the What's New document. It's a full-size document, including the examples that I've shown, but also some other list of changes that have to do with this version. There are some cool new guideline checks like text overflow checks, the use of calc fields when focusing on flow fields. Are you using a flow field without doing a calc fields, either implicitly or explicitly? That kind of things have been added to OMA, and tons of other things. Whenever you are interested in either retrieving this version or any kind of other information, please refer to sales@idyn.nl when you want to use email, or go to www.idyn.nl for all information you are seeking for. For now, thanks for watching and have a good day. Thank you.